And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the gymnasts. Tonight's competition will feature acrobatic gymnastics, trampoline, tumbling, double mini trampoline, and rhythmic gymnastics. Acrobatic gymnastics with both junior and senior divisions competing in group balance routines and pairs dynamic routines. Trampoline with the senior elite preliminaries. Tumbling with senior elite preliminaries. And double mini also with senior elite preliminaries. Rhythmic gymnastics. Competing with hoops, we have groups. And with rope and ball. And individual rhythmic gymnastics, starting off by competing tonight with hoop and ball. Routines that will be scored for both the preliminaries in the all-around competition and individual hoop and ball events. All happening tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention to our nation's colors. Presenting the American flag this evening, two gymnasts from each region in each division of the USA Gymnastics Championships. Here to sing our national anthem and also performing at Summerfest, the world's largest music festival, is West Allis, Wisconsin's Jennifer Schaefer. Jennifer Schaefer. Gymnasts may now prepare for competition in the USA National Gymnastics Championships.
Oh, that's a lean and dab right there. Stand by, it's coming at you. Stand by.
Gymnasts may now begin their warm-up. Olympic Day is a worldwide celebration observing the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. USA Gymnastics marks this day to recognize all of the former Olympians in attendance tonight, many of whom call Wisconsin their home. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Randy Dean, USA 1976 handball. Ron Gallimore, USA 1980 men's artistic gymnastics. Bonnie Blair, USA 1984, 88, and 92 speed skating with 5 gold and 1 bronze medal. Becky Turner Buckland, USA 1996 group rhythmic gymnastics. Olena Vitrichenko, Ukraine 1996 and 2000 individual rhythmic gymnastics bronze medalist. Dmitry Poliaroush, Belarus, 2000 and 2004 trampoline Olympian. Nuno Marino, Portugal, 2004 trampoline Olympian. Zhenya Berlot, Belarus, 2004 group rhythmic gymnastics. Chelsea Memel, USA, 2008 women's artistic gymnastics silver medalist. Savannah Vincent, USA, 2012 trampoline gymnastics. Stephen Gluckstein, USA, 2012 trampoline gymnastics. And John McCready, USA, 1996 men's artistic gymnastics.
Yes, you guys heard it. It's Olympic Day. Well, it's Olympic Week, we're calling it. It was actually last week, but it's pretty much Olympic Day all the time, right? So we got these great Olympians out here celebrating all their sports and the great thing we call the Olympics that all these people on the floor are working towards. We have one gentleman right here next to me, Stephen Gluckstein, representing the United States of America in trampoline 2012, correct?
Yep, 2012 and alternate in 2016.
Yes, so let's give Stephen a big round of applause. So Stephen, first of all, you're here doing what?
So I'm coaching some of the younger athletes, but I'm also here commentating for the people at home watching online.
So you can log on live and see the stream and hear you give the breakdown, right? So give me a little taste of what they're going to hear on the breakdown.
So not only the ones at home, but you can watch it here on your phone if you don't want to watch it live as well. But something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes a Triffus.
That's pretty solid. I would log on immediately for that. Yeah. Your dad likes it a lot. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, and then we got to go down here to Bonnie Blair. Yes. I love Bonnie Blair. She was like my idol. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here today.
Well, anytime you want to come, I mean, I'll go rollerblading with you tonight if you want.
All right, yeah, as long as there's no rain, we're good.
Even rain, I'll do it. So what's going on in your life now?
Yeah, I'm a mom. I retired quite a while ago, but my daughter Blair is here, and she's picked up the sport of speed skating after having to give up gymnastics due to chronic wrist issues. So we were kind of involved in the sport and at Chelsea Memmel's gym. So we know a little bit, but this is going to be fun for us to watch tonight.
Very cool. And then really quick, how did you get involved in speed skating?
I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and I just had to follow the rest of my brothers and sisters. They threw me in the car and found a pair of skates, and you went to the rink, and I didn't know any better.
And you just did it.
I just did it.
And then you dominated for your whole life.
And then I loved it.
That's so awesome. Give all these Olympians a big round of applause, and let's get ready to watch USA Gymnastics Championships. Let's do this, Milwaukee!
This concludes the warm-up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We are inside the BMO Harris Bradley Center. My name is Evan Heider, bringing you action in 3 disciplines tonight, starting with Rhythmic Gymnastics. I'm alongside many-time national champion Rebecca Sarita. We're going to take a look at the Rhythmic Dreams group, Maria Brasonvianu, Karen Chen, Rachel Gu, Amy Kaluzhny, Smaranda Sali, and Nina Wang.
So this is the first time, actually, we've had a second group competing at our nationals in a very long time. Usually we have one national group where we comprise gymnasts from different teams from all over the country, and they train in Chicago. But this is actually a group from Massachusetts, so they're very new. They actually have never competed at the Federation of International Gymnastics level. So they previously competed as a group at the Junior Olympic level. So this is a very big step for them, all for the very first nationals for all of them.
We'll get to see a glimpse into one of the main efforts of the Rhythmic program in the U.S., growing that depth from the ground up. Exponential growth has been evident in the program, performing with 3 balls, 2 ropes. It'll also be great to see the comparison between this level of group and then the national team.
There's actually been a very large growth in the Junior Olympic program in group gymnastics, so it's nice to see them expand and compete at nationals.
See the catches a bit out of sync. You want to see all the apparatus caught by each athlete at the same time. Every beat of the music needs to be choreographed, and Rebecca is going to share a lot of judging insights, having just passed her brevet course.
Yeah, so new season after post-Olympics means new code of points, so the rules are a little different this cycle coming around. As you see here, she just dropped and had to run for it, which obviously is very difficult to come back from, considering there's 4 other athletes waiting on her, but they recovered quickly. But for group, there weren't that many differences in the code of points in general. However, now there's no forms. Previously, you would write your routine on forms that the judges would judge on, but now the judges judge whatever they see and whatever the athletes do.
What do you feel about that departure from the forms?
Well, I'm sure for judges who've been used to forms for a very long time, it's difficult and it's a new transition, but now it gives the luxury for the athletes to get credit for exactly what they're doing on the competition carpet rather than what their coach might have written on the forms a week ago or a month ago. But it makes the judges very alert and very conscious of exactly everything that's going on in their routine. Overall, aside from that one drop, there weren't too many big mistakes, but as you see, they're kind of new, but for very first national start, it's a good start for them.
That's the Rhythmic Dreams group. Starting off the Rhythmic competition for us, we're going to move now to men's tumbling. It's Brandon Krasnevsky from Capital Gymnastics. I'm alongside 2012 Olympian Steve Gluckstein in trampoline. very well versed in seeing tumbling meet or two in his day as well.
Well, a strong first pass for Brandon. You'll see he's definitely pushing the difficulty. You'll see 3 doubles there. Didn't quite make it to the landing area in the last one. It's only a small deduction though, but that was a strong pass with 3 doubles from Brandon. His coach Sergio is actually the national team head coach for tumbling for Team USA.
Krasnevsky getting us underway in tumbling, taking another look here. You can see landing back on the tumbling strip. Obviously want to be landing in that matted zone at the end. He'll have another pass to make up for that one. We're going to move now to women's tumbling. It's Danielle Ward, or excuse me, double mini.
Now with their balance routine for 13 to 19
J to the K, y'all. We are moving promptly over to our first look at acro tonight. This is the women's group. They train at EAGC. It's Isabel Chang, Alexandra Gledkova, Caitlin Kitza. We have a coach who has aided in coaching a pair to the World Games, something that's on the line tonight. Marie Annenson going to be giving her expert advice.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. The girls are going to start off the balance routine. The trios will be doing balance and the pairs will be doing dynamic tonight. So the 3 girls will see a lot of static holds, building of pyramids. In order not to receive a deduction, they're going to have to hold it for 3 seconds. It's a really nice press to handstand, motion to flange.
Remember, you can follow along via social media with all the action using hashtag USA Gym Champs all weekend long. This is our first of 3 nights of coverage. Important to note that in acro, the judges do take into account the size of all of the athletes. They don't want to see too much variation between Isabel, who's on the top, and her base athletes as well.
In the younger age groups, you will see a slight more variation than you will in the seniors. They actually get a bigger size deduction in seniors than they do in the 13 to 19 and 12 to 18 age groups. And it'll be very interesting, this competition, because this is the first year where they can have words in one of their exercises in the music. So it'll be a little surprised to see that from who decides what routine that they decide to have words in their exercise.
Definitely. Always good to see the sport evolve in a new way. I know that was something that in previous national championships we had talked about, rumors swirling around that, seeing it incorporated in Rhythmic. Now it's moved to acro. Just adding another dimension to the performance.
And I've seen some beautiful routines done to some very, very nice choices of music here already in the training. You can see they are now doing a pyramid where both bases on the floor, and the judges want to see the variations in the pyramids. Very nice.
Chang, Gladkova, and Pizza of EAGC starting things off with the women's group, 13 to 19 age division. Moving over to men's tumbling, it's Drew Collins. Always a recognizable figure in the tumbling competition. Basically a foot taller than most of the other competitors.
Absolutely. It's really fun to watch him because it looks like he would take 3 back handsprings and reach the end of the floor, but he's actually a very fast, dynamic tumbler.
Big double A. The back handspring looked a little high before that one.
Another double A. Nice, clean technique, straight legs. Beautiful straight line. So when you're tall like that, if you break form, you could definitely see it. But if you're straight and straight legs, pointed feet, it looks really nice.
Kept the rhythm going. Looked like he just wanted to get that first one under his belt. Went for the double layout, knew exactly where he was, moving to women's double mini. This is Kellen Ewis of White Tumble Academy. First look here tonight.
It's a half-out tuck mounter and a double back tuck. Over-rotated that mounter with a double front with a half twist and launched into the C zone. The red is the A zone, the yellow is the B, and the blue is the C.
You can see it right on the end of the trampoline, and that just launches you back. No time to allow your body to rise up. As we mentioned earlier, we got a look at the Rhythmic group from Rhythmic Dreams. This is the national prep group here. They're also performing with 3 balls and 2 ropes. Dasha Bladtovic, Connie Du, Yelizaveta Maranzon, Nicole Sladkov, Kristina Sobolevskaya.
So this is actually a completely new group. After the 2016 Olympics, the old group actually all retired, and now they collaborated a bunch of new girls, and they're very fresh. Only 2 of them previously were in junior group, so a lot of these athletes were previous individual athletes, previous national team members. And actually this year already they've had a lot of international success as being a first new group, placing third place, yeah, in France, TA, in a Grand Prix, which is great.
Testament to that exponential growth that we've seen, not only in the Rhythmic program overall, but particularly in the group qualifying last year, 2016 Olympic Games.
Yes, it was great to have an individual athlete as well as a group representing at the Olympics.
Again, look at the synchronization of the catches.
That was very difficult right there. Christina actually moved from California to join the group, while the rest of them happened to already be living in Chicago, but for her it was quite a change.
But it really is, you know, that opportunity. You look at the amount of individual athletes who make it to the Olympic Games, and then, you know, a spot on a 5-person team in the group serves as a great opportunity to get more U.S. Olympians under the USA Gymnastics flag.
Exactly. They get to travel a lot internationally. It's more opportunities. And during a fast upbeat routine like this, it's very important for them to keep the energy throughout all 2.5 minutes, whereas an individual routine is only a minute 30. So they gotta maintain that energy and that strength for a significantly longer time.
In that turn sequence, I noticed Connie Du actually spins the opposite direction than everyone else in the group. Is that allowed in the judges' eyes?
Yes.
How do they interpret that?
No, it's allowed because some people are lefties. As long as they're doing the same element, or they're even allowed to do different elements as well. Here she's also rotating the other way. There's no deduction. Sometimes it just throws off in the eyesight, but other than that, there's no actual technical deduction for rotating the other way.
Could probably be viewed as even more difficult to keep the sequence and tempo, spotting in different ways.
Exactly. Good routine for them. As you can see, Christina is very happy. Very good routine to start off the national championships for them.
Very nice national prep group. Bladtovic, Du, Maranzon, Sladkov, and Sobolevskaya. We're going to move quickly over to men's tumbling. Emilio Lamer of Aspire, his first pass this evening.
So we're going to be seeing a straight pass from him, so not too much twisting. And so not only are the straight legs and the pointed feet are the only thing the judges are looking for, but also for speed, that you're continuously moving down and getting faster and not slowing down. That's a great double A half to finish, or a Biles.
Throwing a half on it. Yeah.
For all those artistic gymnastics fans out there.
You can see right here, this one, knees bent just a tiny bit, but kept the momentum going, and then brings that arm in to initiate the twist. Very nice for Lamer. This is Hallie Piontek in double mini, her first pass.
Another half-out tuck mounter to a full and full-out pike. You can see a big difference in her mounter with that great tuck position and the opening. So the trampolinists are supposed to finish their skill in the straight position by 12 o'clock, completely upside down, and she did that perfectly.
That's what sets you up to be able to execute that dismount. perfectly implanted in the landing zone as we move over to our next women's group in the 13 to 19 division. It's Handy, Nethery, and Nordyke of Acro Explosion.
As we were just talking earlier about how much more beautiful the leotards and acrobatics have become, a lot similar to rhythmic, and I think it helps make the exercise just look nice and polished. This is a pyramid called two tops working, where you have the middle and the top both doing balanced static holds on the one base.
Missed that ring position there, wanted to hold that on the top.
Right.
Working out of it, keeping the momentum going. It's also great to see at these USA Gym Champs every year, these teams, these groups evolve along with each other. So it's, you know, everyone's getting older, everyone's learning new skills or becoming more comfortable. Talk about kind of the evolution of keeping a trio together.
Right, some of the athletes you're gonna see, or pair groups you're gonna see tonight, have been together for a good amount of years. There's one trio in particular I know has been together for, this is their 5th year training together, and it makes a big difference, developing skills and being able to take an easier skill and develop them into harder positions or harder static holds. And it's a difficult thing to do to continue a partnership, and when you can, it makes something, creates something very special. The release of the hands just gives them a little bit more difficulty, and then they're transitioning into another pyramid. And you're allowed to do that now a couple times in the exercise where before you weren't allowed to. Many times you'll see in the upper level routines, they'll do 3 to 4 pyramids.
And one thing I will say about this balance exercise, they're definitely not allowing the balance nature of it compromise the energy,
Right.
keeping the music moving right along with the music, keeping the crowd involved.
Yeah, I like the energy a lot.
Very nice
Very good.
balance exercise from the women's group of Handy, Nethery, and Nordyke of Acro Explosion. We're going to move now to the second pass for men's tumbling. Another look at Brandon Krasnevsky. Remember, he'll be looking to improve on that first one, put it into the landing zone here.
So Brandon's first pass had significantly more difficulty than his competitors. Now we're going to be seeing a twisting pass, so you'll be seeing some of his doubles with twists in them instead of more in the double A. So there's a full in, and coming in very fast to a Miller triple twisting double layout. Very big in difficulty. His difficulty alone will probably set him a few points ahead of his competitors.
Really found the rhythm on this pass, building up speed. Huge dismount there. We're moving immediately over to Serena Liu, our first individual competitor on the rhythmic scene, no stranger to the world stage. She trains at Isadora.
Serena's from my old home gym, so very close. Many-time national team member. Last year she was 3rd. She's looking to secure a spot on national team in the higher of the ranks.
At the top of the show, we mentioned the World Games. A lot of these athletes are vying for a spot to qualify there, except in the rhythmic competition. Laura Zhang, 2016 Olympian, has already qualified. So on the line here are obviously national championships and the all-around and individual events.
Serena actually is doing what most people thought would be the impossible. She's full-time student at Princeton and practicing full-time gymnastics, going internationally, traveling nationally, hitting all the national team camps, everything, and still maintaining awesome GPA at Princeton.
Serena keeping it casual, sounds like. not want to stress herself out. I think this is a great music choice for Serena Liu's style. So classic, always full extension on everything she does.
Yeah, executionally wise, she's always a strong gymnast, and artistry wise as well. That was a very good turn.
Nice control. You saw her come all the way back around to where she began.
Good first routine for Serena. There was a little nerves in the beginning, but for first routine, it was a very solid routine for her.
Serena Liu's quest for a national championship is underway here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're moving to the second pass now of Drew Collins.
So we'll see another twisting pass. Hopefully it'll be a little easier for Drew, as it's probably easier to twist 6'2" than it is to flip 6'2".
Well, there'll still be flipping involved, so we'll see how he combines it. First one.
Full in, loses some momentum, trying to pull it around, and he makes a full in pike. Good, decent routine, probably not enough to surpass Brandon, but a good pass, especially under the pressure of hopefully making an Olympic or a World Games spot.
Looking at Kellen Ewis now. This is her second pass in double mini, looking to improve after that first one went a little awry.
There's a half out pike and a full out straight with a good landing inside the red. A little bit of break of form. The judges want to see tight legs as close to the body as they can. And her pike was a little bit open. They want those legs right next to those cheeks, and she just wasn't quite there.
Here we are with Brigitte Budginas now, working with the hoop. She trains at Berlo Gymnastics.
Yes, Brigitte also many-time national team member, has competed at nationals several times, even before she was a junior athlete. So this isn't new for her. Brigitte tends to be a very consistent athlete, which is very essential here, as top 12 after the qualifications round will be competing at 4 events again. So in total, 8 routines will be scored. Here you see the nice fouette turn exactly to the musical accent, which helps her artistry score.
Full extension on the balance. Innovative beginning to that toss there.
Exactly. And with Brigitte, you always see the precision of her tosses, so you see the confidence when she's catching, which is something very useful to have as an athlete. And then here you saw she dropped on something very small, which will be a slight deduction. And here as well.
Again, the orange scoop creating contrast from her leotard and also against the floor, making the judges take notice. As she finishes her first exercise tonight, Brigitte Budginas moving back over to our final men's tumbler, doing his second pass. This is Emilio Lamer.
So again, this is going to be a twisting pass. Emilio had a double A and a double A half, or a Biles in the first pass. Here he comes in with a full in, a little slow, needs to pick it up. And there's a full tuck with one step. Each step is 1/10. Not bad, but definitely not enough to surpass Brandon, but all in all, decent pass.
Lamer kept it going after that first big double flip and twist. It was a little bit precarious in the rhythm, but got it back, put down the double-double at the end. Now looking at Hallie Piontek to close out this first rotation of action at the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships, double mini.
There's a full and half out tuck to a half and half out pike. Almost stuck the landing. So double mini has actually changed their difficulty rules over the past 4 to 8 years to hopefully push difficulty. And as a female, that was a big difficulty pass.
Good way to close out rotation number 1 here at the BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We'll be back after this with rotation number 2, the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships.
I'm trying to time the pressure right to you. I don't want to kill you. Now this one's going to kill you. I don't see any stanky legs. I see one right there. Nobody's breaking their legs. There we go. Oh, we got a whole section doing the whipping nay-nay. Yeah.
Gymnasts may now begin the warm-up for rotation 2.
Okay, Milwaukee, please welcome to the floor 2012 Olympian Savannah Vincent. And 2016 Olympian, both in trampoline, Nicole Assinger. Assinger. She got mad at me because I said but it's really Right, Nicole?
Yeah, it was a good effort.
I tried. All right. So first of all, let's start with Nicole. Well, you're competing tomorrow, right?
I am.
And first of all, how was the Olympics? That was a pretty exciting experience, right?
Oh, it was incredible. The best experience I could have ever gone to accomplish.
If you remember like one thing you're never gonna forget about the Olympics, what would it be?
Honestly, being very nervous for my first routine, and then my second routine, I was like, I just better go out and do the best I can.
And you did the tour afterwards. We actually came to Milwaukee. What was the experience traveling the country, not only with all the other disciplines, but just promoting trampoline?
I mean, it was great to show my discipline just because not very many people know what trampoline is. And so I guess going around the entire country and seeing people and getting to show the trampoline, it was just really exciting.
Very cool. And Savannah, you were on the tour in 2012, yeah? There you go. You got a cheering section. So Savannah, there's a lot of changes going on right now. Just take us through the rule changes that we just had with trampoline.
Well, there's a few different rule changes, but the biggest change would be horizontal displacement.
That sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, no. Basically, it's just tracking how much the athlete travels on the trampoline during their routine.
So before, they didn't get deducted if they traveled, or they get more deducted now?
They did, but now they're just watching a little more closely.
Okay, and then the thing I found interesting was the way you time the time of the flight is what it's called, right? So how does that work?
Basically, when an athlete starts a routine, they start the timer. So as the athlete goes into the trampoline bed, it breaks the laser underneath the trampoline, so it times every time that plane's broken.
You got lasers.
Yeah, lasers.
This is very, very like 007 over here. Very cool. So we're going to see Nicole tomorrow. We're going to see the guys tonight on trampoline. You're going to see the lasers. You're going to see it all. So watch out for those eyeballs. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Savannah and Nicole.
This concludes the warm-up and competition. Starts off again with rotation 2.
Hello, everyone. We are back inside the BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships.
Starting off
Back
on
live
double
with
mini
rotation
for
2
Aspire,
action.
Megan
We're going to
Haruko.
start at double mini. This is Megan Haruko of Aspire.
Megan will be trying to surpass Haley, who I believe is in first place after the last flight, who threw some pretty big difficulty. There's a half-out pike mounter to a double
Megan
tuck
Haruko of
dismount, which
Aspire
looked
on
like it
double mini.
wasn't planned. Again, the judges are looking
Now
for those
with
tight
Ru
positions
for
and
California
opening by 12
Rhythms,
o'clock,
Eliza
and
Cohen.
she didn't really show much of either on that dismount.
A lot of times when the arms are out like that, you can tell they're just kind of going with it, trying to put their feet on the floor as we move over to California Rhythms. Eliza Cohen with the hoop.
Eliza's a first-year senior, looking to potentially get a spot on national team.
As someone who's been there before, Rebecca, what was your first senior national championships like?
My first senior national championships was in 2012. It was quite something. It was very interesting. It was very stressful because I had 3 junior national titles previously, so I obviously stepping up the game in a senior round, I obviously wanted to continue the trend, but definitely a lot more pressure. But for first-time seniors, it's always a little, it's like you're restarting from the beginning, kind of. New competitive pool, rules are slightly different. That actually is a very large deduction. Putting the hand down is actually a 5/10 deduction that she'll lose there, as well, and not get credit for the balance. So that's something that most gymnasts try to avoid, for sure.
Putting that brevet on it this year is Rebecca Sarita. And you can tell too, you know, in rhythmic gymnastics, the polish of the athletes really does develop with age and experience. We saw Laura Zhang really just rise to the occasion in 2016, cream of the crop. So Eliza Cohen has some great examples within the program to follow.
Exactly. The senior pool is very strong this year, and just having more athletes competing and pushing the other athletes to succeed even more is very crucial and very important. Good start for Eliza. That touch on the floor will obviously be a pretty large deduction, but aside from that, it was pretty good.
Nice way to end right on the beat for Eliza Cohen. Moving over to Alex Rankert. Missed him last year at the national championships. He's made his way back, vying for a spot in the World Games.
And definitely a contender at that. And he has some world championship medals under his belt in double mini, I believe. And this is his straight pass, starts out with a double lay, another double lay to a double back pike.
Kicks it out.
Similar pass to what Brandon was trying to do. Brandon failed to make it to the landing area, but this is another big difficulty with great execution. That might just set him ahead.
Straight pass for Alex Rankert under his belt. This is Lacey Jenkins of Phoenix Elite. Her first pass on double mini.
Another half-out pike to a full and full-out tuck. Not the cleanest. She certainly looks happy to be on her feet. Not the cleanest, but again, with the changes to the difficulty in double mini, that will put her towards the top. But I doubt it will pass Hallie's first 2 passes.
We'll see what shapes up for Lacey Jenkins as we move now to the balance women's group. Newlin, Smiley Rooney, and Swarthout train at Legacy.
So you can see with this women's group, they're a little bit more similar in size, which will help them in their artistry score.
Hearing the vocal incorporation here.
With our new set of rules out, starting in this quad, artistry has now been, the way to judge artistry has now been made more simple. And
because artistry is something that's so subjective.
yes,
It really depends on the judge and the interpretation. So simplifying that aspect of the sport, you see a direct benefit there?
I do. I just passed my international judges course.
Everybody throwing some brevet on it this year.
And in the past, as a coach, trying to figure out artistry is like one of the most difficult things to do, has been one of the most difficult things to do. So simplifying it has not only, I think, made it easier for the judges, but made it easier for the coaches. And you can sit down and you can talk with the athletes and break it down into 5 categories, and they also understand it better. It's basically just leaving out everything out on the floor, and the more you give the judges, the more they'll give to you. So it's actually now a bonus point system rather than a deduction system like before. So the judges are going to give you a bonus. You start from a 5, and you can work your way up to a 10.
TP formation here.
Good terms.
Trying my best. It's been 3 years. Again, a trend I've noticed too over those 3 years is kind of the evolution of the balance routine becoming more high energy. I think, you know, would you agree that that's kind of an emerging trend, specifically within the American scene?
Yes, and they did a very good job at it. I like the energy in that routine.
Newland, Smiley, Rooney, and Swarthout of Legacy taking us over now to men's tumbling. The first pass, Austin Nacy.
Austin Nacy is an incredible tumbler. I remember we were at a clinic one time, and we were literally just thinking of things to try to make him do, and he literally did every single one of them.
And then he did it.
And then he did it. So let's see how he does here on his first pass. Very nice double A. Another double A into a triple back tuck. Huge difficulty and incredible form. And what I really loved about that pass was his speed. Absolutely explosive, showing control throughout the entire tumbling pass.
Kelly Keitel will be on women's double mini, and really looking at Austin Nacy and comparing him to the rest of the field so far tonight, it was rhythm, it was form, it was difficulty. That's the total package that you're being judged on, so really a great example of the cream of the crop so far here in Milwaukee.
And a decent pass. Again, not too much difficulty. Double A was clean. Not so much on that half-out tuck, that mounted, that first skill. We're looking for a straight body. At the end, they have to open up at 12 o'clock, directly upside down, and they have to remain straight until they were parallel to the floor.
Getting a look now at the beginning of Ekaterina Kapitanova with the hoop.
Katerina also member from my home team. Last year was 6th on senior national team, so she's a second-year senior.
And if I remember correctly, it's a family affair at the Kapitanova house.
Exactly. Her younger sister competed earlier today in the junior field, and after 2 events is currently leading the junior competition.
Mentioned it off the top, but it's really about choreographing the movement in the routine to match the music perfectly. You saw how that really changed with the tempo. Doing really great.
Yes, exactly. Artistry is a very large part of the new code of points as well, with very specific requirements as similar in acro. That was a very difficult right there trick she did. So it's very important to make sure they show dynamism, changes in level, changes in expression.
Crucial to watch for during these catches, catching it in front of yourself or right underneath it. Don't want to be reaching out or back, showing that you're off center a little bit.
Very good routine for Katerina. Very good start. Very difficult routine, and she was on music and nailed everything.
Brought it throughout for Kapitanova. Moving to Matthew Hawkins of Aspire. It's going to be his straight pass, 1 of 2 tonight.
It's definitely going to be hard to follow up after that amazing pass from Austin. But let's see what he's got in store for us. Another double A, losing speed, but pulls around a double pike.
Steve, when they do that to me.
It makes you age just 1 year faster,
I mean, but amazing, amazing air sense from Matthew Hawkins there.
Absolutely, and it's been incredible that we haven't seen any falls, knock on wood, thus far. You know, with this speed and these huge skills, it's very hard to transition out of it, and the fact that it's been 100% thus far is incredible. So kudos to them. Everyone's been training really hard to take away that World Game spot.
Getting after it. Now we move over to a former world champion, Crystal Lowell. Her first pass.
Half-out pike to a full pike dismount. That's double twisting, double back pike. You can see there's the opening, the straight body position, and a little bit of form break on that full pike. However, it's a big difficulty skill, so it'll definitely help her out in the difficulty side of her total score.
Moving now to the women's group of Allen, Maynard, and Vance. They train at Ariel's Athletics in Ohio.
One thing you'll see more in the 13 to 19 age group is the individual skills. In senior, they don't require it anymore. They can do it for difficulty, but it's not required, and so that'll be something a little bit different. Another TP skill.
And you can see the points of contact, so it's 2 to 2 from the bases. The group prior to this showing 1 to 2. So a good look at how difficulty can be so subtle, might not notice it right off the bat, but really great structure, steadiness here, great split position on the top.
And then she motions into flag position.
Thinking about flag.
In all balance routines, they can only do up to 8 static holds, no matter how many pyramids they do. A lot of them, though, don't get to 8 static holds in 13 to 19, but you do see that a lot more in the senior category.
One thing about this group, the rhythm of their setup. She got up there so quickly, and it just speaks to the comfort level. Obviously, hours in the gym, practice on that, right up there. Maybe not as much difficulty as we've seen from other groups tonight, but again, it's also that balance of doing what you do well.
Right, and it looking as easy as possible, as beautiful and easy as possible. And I love to see skills where they get in fast and then they do an interesting controlled dismount. So you saw that last skill, they got out of it in a very interesting way, and that shows control, and it helps the whole routine flow a little bit better, and that does help in their artistry score portion of it. This is another 2 tops working, completely different than what we saw in the last exercise. Oh. That was a very close 3 seconds. Something different. I really like that routine.
For Allen, Maynard, and Vance, agreed. You know, it's kind of the variety that we're seeing within this age group, the different music and presentations overall. We're moving now to the second pass of Alex Rankert. He's chasing Austin Nacy after that huge first pass, but Rankert no stranger to big pressure and big meets.
Should be interesting to see what these guys are going to throw here on their twisting passes. You saw a lot of 3 doubles. There's one, there's a full in straight. Looks like he's going to go one more to a triple twisting double layout, also called a Miller, landing a little bit short, but again, huge difficulty. And finally stabilizes there after a couple steps.
Kept his hands up. That's very important on that dismount for Alex Rankert. 2 passes under his belt.
Absolutely. The landing is a huge portion of their execution here on double mini and tumbling. If they put their knees or hands or fall, it's 1 point off their execution.
Megan Haruko.
Not a bad pass. Definitely some form breaks there, we're looking for a straight body position in both skills, and we don't see it. But a full and half out dismount will definitely give her some big difficulty.
Evita Griskinas now of North Shore, one of those up-and-comers. Last year was her first year in the senior ranks, and definitely in some aspects of her gymnastics can give Laura Zhang a run for her money.
Exactly. Last year, Evita was 4th on senior national team as her first year as a senior, which is a very good rank. And Evita is very graceful, very long, and extends every movement, very confident in the carpet, which is something that the judges value very much.
And that's been something she's grown into as well, because she used to be a pint-sized little elegant rhythmic athlete, and now she's tall, lines have changed a bit.
Exactly, that's the beauty of watching the gymnasts evolve from when they were juniors to pre-juniors, and now they're seniors. And even as a senior athlete, the changes between years is so drastic at this point. She's traveling a lot throughout the carpet, which is very good for the artistry score. She's not staying in one spot for long. Very nice.
And it's those subtle things. You saw how she caught with her hand turned the opposite way, adding difficulty to even something that looks so simple. But the judges definitely take notice of elements like that. And I feel like Griskinas, that kind of characterizes it. Everything looks very simple.
Yeah, the whole...
Even when it's difficult.
Exactly. They spend so much time trying to make it look effortless, which Evita does great. That was a very difficult routine that she made look effortless. Very great routine.
Strong start for Evita Griskinas of North Shore with the hoop. Moving now to Austin Nacy.
This will be his twisting pass. Now, we saw a couple Millers triple twisting double layouts. He is the only one I have ever seen tumble out of a triple twisting double layout. So we'll see if we see it here tonight or if he's saving it. There's a full and full out straight, a double twisting, a little slow, fixes it up, and finishes with a full and full out tucked. Great form. I'm not sure if that's what he had planned.
Same. It's kind of like these athletes are so talented in the air and making those split-second decisions where they're able to finely tune what they're actually doing, knowing how their rhythm is on the tumbling mat, knowing what's going to get them safely to their feet without sacrificing too much difficulty or form.
And believe it or not, they're doing all that strategy and thinking about their score, not only their safety, right, but they're also thinking about their score at the same time so that they can maximize and fix their routine.
Lacey Jenkins.
Half out tuck, full and full out pike.
She's always happy when she lands. It looks like she came off a bit quick, not really allowing herself, perhaps showing a bit of nerves in this national championship. It's a big meet.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of pressure with that World Game spot, but she is having a good time out there on this big stage.
Lacey Jenkins leaving it all out there in her second pass on double mini. We move to Bogowitz, Nubla, and Wong of NCA. Again, this is their balance routine, 13 to 19 age group. Really deep age group this year, 13 to 19.
Yeah, the 13 to 19 category is growing, which is great for acro because the goal is obviously that they become seniors, and we want that to grow, not only in the United States, but in the sport all over the world.
And there's also strategy in forming a group like this to give mention to, which age group they're going to be able to compete in.
Interesting fact about this trio is the blonde base competed in 2006 at the World Age Group Championships in Portugal. And she went to college, she continued to train acro, stay in shape, and when she moved back to Sacramento, they needed a base, and she was able to continue picking up competing again.
Always a great asset to a group like that, having that level of experience, international stage, host of
Looks like that.
knowledge to lend. You saw that, you were going to say that easy dismount, or that easy dismount out of that TP formation, probably not what they had planned.
Looks like that was a little bit short, but they did a very good job of making it look like a nice come out, so the score might reflect differently if it was a short hold.
And every discipline we're seeing tonight, it takes that split-second thinking, Obviously, you have a routine planned in your head, but you have to be able to think so actively about how you can save the routine without sacrificing those valuable points.
It's great to see also the experienced athletes, and even with a small mistake or even a big mistake, they're able to continue and work together and make a beautiful routine. This is going to be probably their last pyramid. A good variation of skills, high, low, and now a higher skill, where she'll do a 2-to-1 straddle on the foot.
There's the women's group of Bogowitz, Nubla, and Wong. They're going now to the final men's tumbler of this rotation. It's Matthew Hawkins. Never an easy act to follow from Austin Nacy, and Hawkins drew the short straw tonight, having to do it in this pass as well.
Absolutely not an easy task to do. Hopefully he can recover some extra points after that first pass. Did full in straight to a full in tuck.
Matthew Hawkins of Aspire on the tumbling route.
A little bit too slow leading up to that dismount, but somehow pulls it off. And only 1/10 step on the landing.
For Top Star.
Here we go with Kelly Keitel of Top Star, her second pass.
It's another half-out pike mounter for our first skill, double back pike dismount. Good landing, but again, a lot of these girls, these passes we're seeing, a lot of open pike positions. We're really looking to fold in half with straight legs and pointed feet.
Getting a look here at Lily Mizuno, an upstart from last season. The Pacific Rim Championships dominated the junior field.
Yes, last year Lily was second on junior national team, and now this is her first year as a senior. She's already traveled a lot internationally this year. So she's been to Spain, she's been around a lot, which is great for her first year experience.
And Rebecca, it's amazing to compare some of these disciplines and the amount of opportunities that these rhythmic athletes get to compete internationally. If you look on USA Gymnastics website, it's release after release after release from the spring right to the summer. So many Grand Prix events. The sport phenomenally popular in Europe.
Exactly. There's so many international competitions in Europe and now in Asia, and just throughout the entire world they're expanding the sport so much, and it's great that the US is able to compete at so many of the places. Lily is definitely one of the stronger athletes in terms of her body elements, and very clean, light athlete.
Reaching a bit behind her on that catch. One of those tiny nuances.
Exactly. In these years now, she's, oh, so sad. That will be a large deduction for her because she and the equipment both slipped out of the carpet, but she was quick to recover. But now as a senior, it's more so building the confidence that she needs, that juniors mostly don't have.
Disappointing finish there for Lily Mizuno, but getting the first one under her belt. Remember, as Rebecca said, there's a lot of routines judged that factor into this national championship, and Lily Mizuno, her first one as a senior, underway. Our final athlete in this rotation will be Crystal Lowell, again, former world champion. Something that Crystal has used time and again to her advantage is really that difficulty that just kind of laps the field and maybe doesn't do it with quite the level of execution as other athletes. But again, if you're that far ahead in terms of difficulty, it's much easier to just put it to your feet and stay in the lead.
Absolutely. And just like that, that's a lot of twisting in one pass for a female here. That's a full in, half out tuck mounter and a full in, full out. Full and a half twisting in the first skill and a double twist in the second skill.
Crystal Lowell closes out the second rotation here at the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships. We'll be back after this.
In rotation 3.
There you go.
Gymnasts may now begin the warm-up for rotation 3.
Okay, I'm on. Thank you so much. All right, you guys give it up for Jennifer and Monica Rockman. 2016 Olympians in Rhythmic. Very exciting. So, Monica, Jennifer. I know them and I see them all the time, but I can't get it. So Monica, how was it competing in Rio?
It was honestly the most amazing experience of my life. It was to train your whole life and to finally make it to Rio was incredible.
Now, you and your sister, are you fierce competitors? Are you like, oh, good job, Jennifer, I want to take you down? Like, how is the relationship?
Honestly, I feel like most siblings like want to do better than the other and they like really competitive, but me and Jenny aren't really like that. We root for each other and we both want the best for each other.
Such a political answer. All right, so Jennifer, I'm kidding. I believe you, kind of. No, so you guys were on tour. We all went on tour together. How was that experience for you traveling across the country supporting your sport?
It was absolutely amazing. I think it was like the icing on the cake. It was the best way I can imagine to end our career, and it was amazing.
End your career? You're done?
Yeah, we both officially retired, and now we're just focusing on school and going to college.
That's horrible news. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm proud of you, very proud of you. You got to focus on college. That's really good. So talk about the sport. Where's rhythmic gymnastics going? What are some of the new things happening in the sport?
Well, honestly, like even from when I first started, I see it's improved so much. It has way more publicity now, and I just an amazing sport. So elegant and beautiful. It's a combination of gymnastics, ballet, and dance, and yeah.
And Monica's over here. Talk about the new rules. Yeah. See, it's telling her. What about the new rules?
The fact that there's no score sheets, it's like so weird and new for me. It's kind of crazy.
There's no what?
The score sheets.
Score sheets. All right. What does that mean? How does that work?
Well, I'm honestly not like in the loop. I don't want to like say the new rules, but I'm trying to stay involved and like know more about Rhythmic, what's going on.
Would you guys ever want to judge or coach or anything?
We are coaching right now currently, like in the summer after school we are coaching, so it's really nice to be in the loop, and it's nice being on the other side instead of competing, and it helps us stay involved because of course I want to stay involved in rhythmic gymnastics, and so I love coaching because we're just so passionate about Rhythmic.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Monica and Jennifer Rockman, everybody.
This concludes the warm-up, and competition resumes with the start of rotation 3.
Back here live at the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the BMO Harris Bradley Center. We're going to start this third rotation with Nastasia Generalova of California Rhythms with the hoop.
Nastasia is also a second-year senior. Last year she was 5th on national team.
For California Rhythms,
Nastasia's very dynamic athlete, very well known, travels a lot internationally. One to definitely remember. So with these new rules, actually, there's no set limit on to how many body difficulties they have to do, how many tosses. Now it's up to the choreographer, the coach, the athlete. They basically are allowed to put in whatever they want, which is kind of interesting, which adds versatility amongst every athlete and definitely make sure the choreographer highlights the strength of each athlete.
Also speaking to the difficulty now of passing the brevet judging course. A lot to remember.
Yes, it's definitely a lot to remember these new rules when it's not in front of you, when you have to just judge as you go.
Some mastery happening there before the catch.
Yes, and another one right now as well. There's no limit as to how many you could do, so some have up to 8. Nastasia tends to have a very different style of music. She's very tall, dominates over the carpet, makes long strides.
It's that Cali swag.
Exactly.
Regionally too, I mean, it's true in rhythmic gymnastics, you know, there are certain regions of the nation where you see a ton of athletes coming out of, and California, one of them.
Definitely out of these pool of athletes, New York's the big one, Chicago and California are the main ones. Very clean routine for Nastasia.
Nastasia Generalova starts with her hoop exercise this evening. Moving now to something that Steve Gluckstein knows a thing or two about. It is the trampoline. The first routine of tonight, it's David Ford from Airborne, Colorado. And with a new quadrennium comes new rules, and trampoline is no discipline that's stranger to that. Talk about some of what we might be looking for a little bit differently this year.
So the first thing that's probably most noticeable is those giant red lines that are even closer to the X than we had before. So what they're doing is they're judging horizontal displacement. There are judges now that specifically look at where you land. And there's more boxes, so there's more deductions. And then the other judges will just be looking at how clean you are, how tight your positions. And lastly, you'll see 4 difficulty elements in this first routine, which David Ford is doing awesome sticks to landing, great routine to start off with.
David Ford, our first athlete tonight, giving you a pretty great example of, you know, how to interpret some of those new rules. The first routine of the night, again, not the huge tricks that we're going to see later on, but now moving to Tristan Van Natta, coming out of retirement now with that World Games spot on the line for double mini.
Absolutely, and she is probably favorited. As you can see, those kickouts, those openings are much different than the previous few flights that we saw, with a half-out tuck and a full and full-out tuck with a nice opening. She also has a couple World Championship medals under her belt, but no World Game medals yet.
We'll see if Tristan Van Natta will change that, earning a berth at these national championships. Getting our first look at the women's pair in the 13 to 19 division. It's Conway and Scyther of CCG.
Moving from women's group to women's pairs is always fun to see the different skills that they're going to do just to.
And again, group to pair and balance to dynamic, as we see right off the top there.
That's from hands to hands, from the floor up to hands. That's a very difficult skill to do in pair, mixed pair, women's pair, men's pair. So, but to see a women's pair perform that skill is always really impressive. They're both small out on the floor, but I feel like they're delivering big artistry. Double pike from floor to floor. That's also a very difficult skill to perform. With the new rules this year, the dynamic exercises can only be 2 minutes long, so you're gonna notice that they're gonna be shorter. Combined in balance can be 2.5 minutes long. The reason being because the skills are faster and there's no need to really have the exercise be that long.
Great extension in that full twist as they put the final pose on their first exercise of this national championship, the dynamic routine of Conway and Scyther. Really happy with that one as we move over to women's double mini. It's Michiko Sharp.
Another half-out tuck mounter, a full out, and a great landing. Sticks the landing in the zone A.
Watch her kick out.
Not as straight as the judges would like, but they cannot take anything away from her on that landing.
Moving now to 2016 Olympic reserve athlete Camilla Feely of North Shore with the hoop.
Camilla is a very strong athlete. Last year she placed second after Laura. She's also competed many times this season internationally. They recently competed in US versus Italy competition, which is very cool for them. Camilla definitely has a very unique style with her routine. She uses her face, she uses her arms, she uses her entire body. She's not afraid to take on a style that most athletes don't in the rhythmic world.
Yeah, it's almost that like intense trickster while still having the extension and skill of somebody as graceful as Serena Liu.
Exactly. She just keeps moving from one thing to another. You never know what she's going to do next. She tries to limit the amount of time before the preparation for anything, which is great.
During that spin, you saw the hoop moving levels around her body, adding difficulty to the skill.
Here you saw two mashes in a row, very well choreographed together, very clean. Here she had to run a little for the hoop, but as long as she caught it, there was not that big of a deduction. Good clean routine for Camilla. Should be a very good score for her.
Camilla Feely definitely doing the most in terms of difficulty that she can. Moving now to Wolfgang Fenistel of Fairland Gymnastics, his first routine on tramp.
It's amazing to watch Wolfgang because he's one of the larger trampolinists. Most trampolinists are short and
stout.
not as, yeah, right? So it's not only amazing how high he goes, but how close to the floor he goes. Whoa, over-rotates his first skill. And as quick as it started, unfortunately, it is over.
And when you push the envelope that far, taking it up to new levels, that is sometimes the unfortunate result. Wolfgang.
So unfortunately, Wolfgang will receive a 0 for that routine.
For World Elite, Paige Howard.
Now moving over to Paige Howard of World Elite, her first pass on double mini.
Nice opening on that half-out tuck and a very nice full.
A ton of speed just in the run up to that. You could tell she was going for something big, and the form throughout really complimentary as well.
Unfortunately, she landed in zone B, which will be a 0.9 deduction. But with a clean pass like that, hopefully won't set her too far back.
Moving now to Angel Felix and Braden McDougall of Realis, the men's pair in their dynamic routine.
These boys are such characters. You could tell they really enjoy not just doing the acrobatic skills, but also the dance portion of it.
And fighting for that element right there. not wanting to give anything up, a level of showmanship we've come to expect from the Realis athletes.
Little comedy always goes a long way with the guys. This routine was choreographed by Arthur Davis.
No.
Yeah. You see some very difficult skills, the toe pitch, back tuck to catch on hands. This is a senior level skill, also done by them, which is their 13 to 19.
Clean double pike there again. Important chest position at the end. If you're short of rotation, you can see that chest kind of lurch forward. He was straight up and down. Very nice execution there. Paying homage to a lot of different styles of acting and dancing throughout. Gotta love it. The crowd getting into it as well.
But still performing clean, difficult skills. A little low on that layout. Very nice.
Crowd
and entertaining.
inside the arena responding to Felix and McDougall. Their dynamic routine as the men's pair. First one we're seeing tonight. Moving now over to trampoline.
With his second appearance
it's going to be
Airborne,
David
Colorado,
Ford
David
after that
Ford.
impressive first routine.
So this second routine, we're gonna see 10 elements back to back, all which count for difficulty. So this is where you see the triple somersaults and the multiple twisting double somersaults. And Davey is going to show us a Triffus. He's going to show us a Triffus pike to start and a half-in Rudy out pike second skill. He's getting great height, and what's awesome about Davey is that he competed in the 90s, retired for 10 years, lived in China.
Keep going. I believe it.
Came back. Right now he has a family. I believe he has 2 or 3 kids. Went back to trampoline because he loved it so much, and he's getting better.
Puts in the back tuck there.
And then finishes his last skill to the mat.
Had a good thing
Decent
going.
Rhythm going on. Good execution, but just could not hold on to it throughout all 10 skills.
Bummer for David Ford of Airborne, Colorado. We'll move over to Tristan Van Natta. Her second pass. Remember, we saw a ton of difficulty coupled with form in the first pass. What double mini's all about.
A half-out pike mounter and a full in. A small step on the landing. And that should put her in a good spot leading up into finals. And the finals will be counting for all their passes in the prelims and the final combined.
Very nice from Van Natta. Moving now to Heather Chan of Emerald City with hoop.
Heather actually last year missed national team. She was 9th, which was definitely a shock for her. She's been on national team many years in the past. So this year she's definitely looking probably to secure a spot in the top 8 and get a spot on national team.
Beautiful catch on her foot there to start things off. Looking for redemption in 2017.
Heather is definitely one of the more flexible athletes, and she definitely will show that throughout her routines. She lost the balance of her upper body a little, which would be a slight deduction, but she would still get credit for that. That would be a drop for her. Heather's also actually another athlete now who's also going to college and training, which is a nice trend to see as most athletes haven't been doing that in the past.
Having some difficulty here. You can see some of those bits that look a bit unchoreographed usually are bending down to pick up the hoop, although it's still done with a level of execution and beauty.
Exactly. After one mistake, sometimes it's hard to recuperate and get back into the swing of it, but it's nice to see when an athlete is able to continue the routine.
Heather Chan slightly off the music at the end, but starting her 2017 National Championships with the hoop.
Now with her second pass
moving
on
to the
double mini
second
trampoline
pass
for
on
Gym
double
Magic,
mini.
Michiko Sharp.
Michiko Sharp of Gym Magic.
There's a half-out pike, a double layout. Couldn't hold on to that straight position. Had to break form to pull it around.
Do you think that was a matter of trying to land in zone A?
I don't think so. I think she was just a little bit under-rotated and had to shorten up herself a little bit to accelerate her speed.
Makes sense as we move over to our next acro mixed pair. Anna Blau and Nathan Burns, also of Realis.
So we've moved from the women's pair category to the men's pair category and now to the mixed pair category. The only category we're not going to see here at the national championships is the men's 4 category, which is 4 boys. Another Arthur Davis routine. The mixed pair category for 13 to 19 has been accepted in the Junior Olympics for 2018. Very nice cannonball front pike to wrap, and then a double pike after that.
Hopefully this mission isn't an impossible one for them. And as a coach who has worked with mixed pairs before, what are the things that you love to see, especially at this age, from these athletes?
We expect to see in their dynamic routine exactly what they've already put out, which is great artistry, a variation of skills. You know, she tumbled to him and did a catch skill. Out of that, they can do much more difficult skills, so you see that they're building, they have skills that they can build into high senior level skills. She's a good size for him. There's room there for growth, which you always want to look for. A nice handstand from floor to handstand catch. I'm sure they probably have something that they're planning to do out of that much harder when they move to seniors.
Arthur Davis, definitely a fan of Austin Powers, has made a couple appearances in various routines. Always fun for the crowd to get into. Great sequence of skills there.
Very nice routine.
Out. Anna Blau and Nathan Burns of Realis, the mixed pair in 13 to 19. 3 more athletes in this rotation. We're going to get back underway with Wolfgang Faniso.
We'll hope Wolfgang has some better luck on his second routine. But however, the trampoline is like the pommel horse of gymnastics. It's not easy to stay on, especially when you're pushing the limits. The web of the trampoline beds and the springs are constantly being innovated to make the trampolinist go higher so we can put more flips into our routine. There's a 2 triple start, a little bit in trouble there, but he's working hard to get out.
Some movement across the trampoline. The judges will take note of that, as you mentioned. A lot more evident here, but putting those 10 skills down after a disaster in the first routine. A nice recovery for Wolfgang.
It's always a relief to finish that last skill of an optional routine where we see too often a fall.
Paige Howard here.
Paige on her second pass. Watch this run. She is so fast, and that speed, every bit of speed will add an extra inch to her height on her first jump there, that mounter. big half-out pike, a full-in straight.
Loves that position.
Beautiful
You can tell
position.
That's a confident athlete going out there and pushing it to the max, not hiking at all.
It's a shame she took that little step. Just 1/10 though. Near perfect routine. I enjoyed that pass a lot.
Here we go, 2016 Olympian Laura Zhang.
Laura has been making history in the previous years, and even this year she's gotten 2 bronze medals at a World Cup, which is a first in the US. And so Laura, just even after Olympics, is still breaking records, still progressing the sport, still making the US a force to be reckoned with in the international level.
Had a meet this spring where she captured 4 golds. Slight problem there for Laura?
Slight, yeah, but it will only be a little artistry and execution deduction. However, it will not actually affect the difficulty of her throw and her catch. With the new code of points, everyone gets completely new routines, so it's very hard to get into that consistency when you're changing all 4 routines, changing the dynamics of your routine. But she's been doing great with that this season.
And also rhythmic gymnastics allows these athletes to evolve from season to season, program to program, trying something new, but also highlighting those things that make your gymnastics so unmistakably unique. Beautiful element there for Laura. Speaking of high scores, Camilla, a couple athletes before her, 17.4 range.
Great routine for Laura. As you see, she loves competing. She's a consistent gymnast. She's just looking to secure her title at this Nationals.
Laura Zhang always on 100, and that finishes out this rotation for us, the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships.
And let's welcome the gymnasts competing in rotation 4.
Here we go, Milwaukee. Get on your feet. Show me that juju on that beat. Juju on that beat. Come on. Let's see it, Milwaukee.
Gymnasts may now begin the warm-up for rotation 4.
All right, guys, check it out. We're going to play a little game called Reaction Time. What's your name?
Molly, Maria.
Molly and Maria are going to go against each other first, okay? So this is the way it works. I'm going to ask you a really easy question, and then the first one to blurt out the answer gets a point. First one to 2 points wins and takes on the winner of this group right here for the championship. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Again, blurt it out right when you know it, okay? Ready? What city are we in right now?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, you got a point. Here we go. Yellow and blue make
Green.
You got a point. Here we go. Are you ready? Finish this famous person's last name. Justin.
Bieber. Timberlake.
You got it right. 2 points. I don't know that first guy. Okay, you step up there. Both of you step up there. You're going to take on the winner. Keep going. Yep. You two come down here. Oh, right. Okay. What's your name?
Angel.
What's your name?
Gina.
Gina?
Nia.
Gina and Nia. Now, Gina was back there, and she's like, what are you going to do good? And Gina's like, I want to lose. I don't want to win. She's a little scared about being up here, but Gina, I think you're going to do really good, okay? Are you ready?
No. Yes.
Okay, you sound like it. All right. Here we go. Finish this famous character's full name. SpongeBob.
SquarePants.
Boom, 1 point. Here we go. 7 plus 4. 11, 1 point. Here we go. 7 minus 4. 3, right here. Here we go. You are the winner. You step up here. See, you won. I told you. You come right here. All right. All right, you guys ready? Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. What's your dad's middle name?
Oh, Matt. I don't know how to pronounce it. Omero?
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Joseph?
Joseph. Sure. You have a point. Well, you answered, but it was very like you weren't sure, okay? We'll give you both a point, okay? Wow. All right. You guys ready? Who's the Vice President of the United States?
Mike Pence?
She got it. One more for the championship. How are we doing on time? We got to wrap it up. Are you ready? What are all 4 disciplines that are here? What are the disciplines that are here?
Trampoline, tumbling, acrobats, and rhythmic.
Rhythmic. You got it right. Did she leave any out? Power tumbling. Did you say power tumbling? Yeah? You got it right. All right. We got 2 winners. All right. We're going to give you both shirts. We're going to get you guys both shirts because you guys both did great. And I got to go. Give them a big round of applause. I'm going to get your shirt, okay? We'll bring it back up, okay? Okay, you guys come this way.
This concludes the warm-up, and competition resumes with the beginning of rotation 4.
Starting rotation number 4 here live
Now
at the
with ball for
2017
Isadora,
USA Gymnastics
Serena
Championships. Our second look tonight at Serena Liu of Isadora. Somebody who used to train alongside her. Rebecca, what can we expect from Serena and the ball?
Well, Serena's using a routine with words. She's actually using Hallelujah. You'll definitely see Serena's softer side today, as hoop was a little classical. However, tomorrow she changes it up with different styles, which is the beauty of having 4 different routines. It's a great turn for Serena. Serena's actually the oldest athlete out of the top 10 competing tonight.
At the ripe old age of?
She's actually 19, so not that old at all if you compare it to the other disciplines.
Gorgeous, all the way up on her toe, the entire sequence.
Yes, and elongating every part of her body, using her arms, her head. That was a very interesting jump. Not many people in the world do. It's switching middle split, and she does it so effortlessly.
Gorgeous catch.
Yes, in one hand, which is actually 1 extra tenth for the difficulty of it.
Serena Liu,
Great
hallelujah
routine.
for that routine.
Serena
Gorgeous
Liu of
effort
Isadora
here to
with
start
ball.
out the 4th rotation in Milwaukee. Moving now to
coming up on trampoline.
men's
For
trampoline,
Hawaii TNT,
Shane Doi.
Shane Doi.
Shane's going to be showing us his first voluntary routine. It'll be interesting to watch where they'll put their difficulty skills, because this is the first year that they've made this new rule. So you can put 1 at the beginning, 3 at the end, 2 at the beginning, or all of them at the end. And strategies are still being made, so it's interesting to watch. So he looks like he's starting off with his non-difficulty elements. And he'll be finishing with 4, hopefully 4. There's 1, there's another.
Working hard.
A 3rd, and a 4th.
All right,
Shane
Shane
Doi
Doi
of
had
Hawaii
some
TNT
travel
on trampoline.
around the bed. Good to get 10 under your belt.
Now with their balance routine, the
As
women's
we move
group
now
from
to
EAGC,
the
Eleanor
senior
Chang,
women's
Kalista
group.
Davis, and Madison
Chang,
Freed.
Davis, and Freed. This is one of those strong. I was thrown off my game. Strong contingent of fans here from EAGC.
Being a partnered sport, there's so much camaraderie, not just amongst the team members, but amongst all the competitors. It's one thing I really love about the sport. Here you're seeing them do a 3 high. You don't see it very often. It's a very difficult pyramid.
Looks like they're just about as high as the trampolinist out there.
Right, there's a brave little one at the top. Especially in the senior category, you're looking for a variation of positions, not just in their body, but also balance points. So 2 hands or like you mentioned, 2 to 2. And also balancing on feet and hands. You're gonna see that both here because the middle will be on the base's feet while the top will be on her hands. This is also a very difficult pyramid.
Straddle press.
Looks like they're going for clean. The tops not doing 2 different statics, which is completely fine in such difficult pyramids. Execution now is doubled. So it's out of a 20. So it's really important to see clean pyramids, clean positions, and you're gonna see that a lot more now because execution plays such a vital role in the score.
Amazing release of the hand there. Crowd responding to it, getting those difficulty points.
Very, very clean routine. Very nice.
A focused
Eleanor
and
Chang,
fierce
Kalista
effort
Davis,
for
and
Chang,
Madison
Davis,
Freed
and
of
Freed.
EAGC
A first
with
look
their
at the
balance
women's
routine.
senior group tonight. Here we go.
Now on
2016
trampoline
Olympian
for World
Logan
Elite,
Dooley.
Logan Dooley.
Logan Dooley, longtime teammate and synchro partner of mine. And Logan has an incredible first routine, well known for this first routine. When the World Championships were in Daytona Beach in 2014, he actually scored a 9.7 out of 10 points because of this lines. And you can see him demonstrating these 12 o'clock kickouts and perfectly straight body. Staying inside that small box. Here's the first of his difficulty elements, a full in, branny out straight, and finishes with a full in, full out straight in that nice straight position.
Gets
Very
to
good
his feet at the end.
execution.
On trampoline.
And again, they also get scored on how
Now
high
with
they
ball
jump.
For Perlo Gymnastics, Brigitte Budginas.
Was quoted earlier in the week as saying he knew if he made the Olympics, he wanted to do 1 more year at least after that. So here he is starting his 2017 quest.
Just about to turn 30 years old. So a little more than the 19-year-olds.
Moving now to Brigitte Budginas.
With ball, you tend to see more of the softer musics in most cases. However, you'll probably see later in today a few different takes on the musics, but Brigitte is taking the vocal, the lyrical aspect of the ball. It was very difficult. As you see, she didn't have a clear catch with that. But with ball being able to roll away so quickly, they're just trying to catch it anyway sometimes.
This is like the routine of bees. Blonde, ball, Brigitte, Budginas. to scoot just a tiny bit forward to get that catch right where she wanted it.
Exactly. It's always about after the release happens, that sometimes you have to adjust where you're going to make sure you catch the ball and make sure you end with the apparatus. Not bad routine for Brigitte, very consistent, very clean.
Very nice for Brigitte Bukinas. Our first look now at Paul Brecher.
So I believe Paul will be doing his first element as one of his difficulty elements. And Paul is coached by 2004 Olympian and our senior national team head coach, Nuna Marino, out of Alabama. And what's awesome about Paul, you can see, is he has these amazing toe points and straight legs. And there's his first difficulty skill and another. So he's performing 2. The first skill was a full and Rudy out, 2.5 twisting double front layout. He's showing great control and height. Nice lines. There's his third and fourth difficulty element, just pulling that half and half out triffus, a full twisting triple back around, not quite hitting those 12 o'clock kickouts where we have to be perfectly straight directly when they're upside down, but great positions and showed great control inside that small box.
Paul Brecher, one good one under his belt so far. We'll see him for the second routine in just a little bit. Now moving over to Grushka, Sweeney, and Watterson. Again in the women's senior group, WCTC.
This senior trio is trying out for the World Games delegation. Their first pyramid is one of the most difficult you'll see, not just here at Nationals, but also in the women's group category all over the world.
That oversplit position as they transition to another, releasing the hand from the leg.
A very soft routine dance. So you saw they transitioned in the first skill, and they're also going to do a transition in this skill as well. So transitions are coming back with women's groups, a more favorable type of skill. So she did 2-on-1 in the first skill, and there you see 2 hands, and then she's also motioned to an arch position. In a very difficult plank position for the bases. These girls have attended 2 of the World Cups this season, one in Belgium and then one in Switzerland. They've won a bronze medal and a silver medal. And
anytime you can get some hardware in international competition bodes well for your future.
Very nice.
Again, it's always interesting to see how these different groups approach the same exercise in a totally different way. Judges have a lot of number crunching to do as we move over to somebody you may know.
I've only known him for about 24 years.
And he is how many years old?
24.
Oh, okay. So this would be your bro.
This is my little baby brother.
Tiny infant,
yes.
Jeffrey Gluckstein.
Now, Jeffrey is an amazing trampolinist, one of the most talented in the world. But what I really love about him is his power. And you'll see him jump much higher than the competition here. easily one of the best in the world. He's working on a little bit on his consistency. Like I said, trampoline's very difficult discipline to stay in the middle and on the trampoline, and he is demonstrating great control and great lines, and he is way up there.
12 o'clock kickouts all around.
There's a nice double back tuck, a half out tuck, and a half in Rudy out pike to finish. Sticks the landing, and that was a great routine for him. Great difficulty, good execution, great time of flight, and his horizontal displacement, that little box, that score I'm sure will be up there in mid to high 9s.
Doing well for himself and the family, Jeffrey Gluckstein, as we move over to Eliza Cohen and her ball routine.
Eliza, out of the 10 athletes here, is actually the only one who has never been on national team. So she's definitely trying to get a spot there, which is very difficult considering the senior pool this year is so strong. Here you can see how the Rhythmic girls love their rhinestones where there's literally nothing except them.
I can no longer see, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Often as first-year seniors, you can kind of see the difference between the older seniors and the first years just because there's a level of maturity that the first-year seniors lack most of the time. But it's something that gets acquired with time.
Something you can tell that she's trying to make her signature is that smile. Again, emoting similar to Camilla Feely, not being afraid of expressing that emotion.
Yes, and this is a very interesting take on modern music, which not many coaches take. A lot of them are kind of think it's a risky decision, but it's
California,
a great choice.
I'm telling you, it comes through again.
Same team as Nastasia, so you see the trend.
Eliza Cohen.
Very nice presentation there for Eliza Cohen, performing to Sia as we move over to Shane Doy.
Now with his second exercise on
This will be his
trampoline
second
for
exercise.
Hawaii TNT,
Remember,
Shane
this
Doy.
is where we get the full difficulty across the board, so 10 elements. And Steve, you were mentioning, if for some reason an athlete does not complete their entire routine, it's still scored over the elements that they complete.
Right, so the execution or the E score is out of 10, like traditional gymnastics. And if they make 10 skills, it's out of 10. If they make one skill, then it's out of 1.
Shane
So,
Doy, eerily,
unfortunately-
yeah, sorry Shane, giving us a direct example of how this works. Unfortunate end to his routine there. As we move now to the next senior women's group, it's Emma Bentov-Lagman, Kristen Connerny, and Helena Hall of LATA.
All of these girls competed in the World Age Group Championships that we had in 2014.
I was actually working out this morning, trying not to get too large in my first year of retirement, and I ran into Helena Hall's mother and sister also working out. It just goes to show how contagious this athleticism in gymnastics is.
Very nice in this TP position to lead off as the top shifts over to a flag position.
It was a very beautiful ring position. You get extra for touching the foot, extra difficulty for touching the foot on one hand, and even more for touching both. The top just displaying like beautiful flexibility. Again, some extra difficulty for doing a one-handed straddle. And then a transition.
Some slight hesitation there, but they are going after it.
Nice save coming out as well. One thing I really like that Acro can showcase is the different tumbling skills. You saw they did a round off layout to split. I always like it when they show skills like that that are just a little bit different than your normal artistic gymnastics.
And as with all the disciplines we're seeing tonight, it's kind of that balance between difficulty and execution.
Right.
They're showing some things that really make them stand out from the women's senior groups that we've seen so far. Really easily into that element, plank position.
And execution's so big. Nice routine. That was very nice.
Very good. Some slight hiccups there, but a lot of great and difficult elements there for Bentov, Lagman, Connerny, and Hall. Moving over to Logan Dooley and his second routine of the evening, coming off a strong first routine.
Logan has won a World Cup, actually the first American to ever win a World Cup, but has not yet taken a U.S. national title, so I know he's going after that. He's been working hard. Let's see what he has in store for us. I believe he'll be opening with a Triffus pike, a triple front pike half twist. And there it is, beautiful openings. A half and half out Triffus, followed up by
traveling a bit.
I believe an unintended skill, just fighting to get back up into his height. With a 2 3/4 to Rudy ball out at the end. I do not think that was intended, but a fantastic display of being aware of where he is. And my friend and I had timed it one time. You have 0.05 seconds to spot that trampoline to decide what your next skill is. So that was a great display of decision making and athleticism, finishing strong in his second routine.
Logan Dooley leaving it all out there in his second exercise as we move over to Ekaterina Kapitanova.
Katerina also is displaying another routine with words. Very different from her previous classical hoop routine, which is great to see when a gymnast is versatile.
And since it's the same panel of judges, they have to remember that, you know, showing the versatility between different exercises. Even though it's not a head-to-head comparison, it's an important kind of characterization in the judges' minds.
Yes, and it allows the gymnast to grow as well, and then to kind of figure out what styles end up working well for her. And just trying something new, because often you get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. Very difficult toss over there.
Catch right into an illusion. As the music crescendos, her movement should get bigger.
Great solid routine for Ekaterina. She had a great day today.
Kapitanova finishes out her day here at the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships as we move over to Paul Brecher, MTGA. Saw great variety in the first exercise.
With his second pass,
What can we expect here?
So Paul's still relatively young, even though 20, right? We see trampolinists going like Logan up till 30. We've seen internationally competitors in their 40s, right? So it's possible. He's young. He's just starting out. I see a lot of potential in this kid. He should be on the senior national team coming, if not this year, in the upcoming years. Again, every time I see him, he's getting stronger. His height is increasing. His execution and his difficulty are increasing, all which add up for your total score. Here he goes, starting with a Triffus pike. A little over-rotated, lost a little bit of height, but keeping his execution. There's a Rudy out pike. And a full and half out pike. You'll see all these elements must be different. Finishing with a triple twisting double back layout, also known as a Miller, and he should be happy with that routine. That was clean, good difficulty.
And gutsy. He was getting some travel in there, but as an athlete, you know how to bring it back to where it needs to be.
And that's all about focus, you know, not becoming distracted. I had watched it. If you've ever seen the TV show Brain Games, they say your brain, there was one episode where they say, watch the dancers. And you watch the dancers, they say, okay, now how many penguins were there? And there was no penguins. So it just goes to show, the moral of the story was that your brain can only focus on one thing. So if he was thinking about how close to the springs he is, he's not going to be able to focus on his execution. But if he's focused on his execution, he will not be thinking about how close he is to the edge of the trampoline.
That is a brain game. I'm still trying to wrap mine around it, but you're the expert. And Paul Brecher definitely showed a great exercise for his second round today. Evita Griskinas of North Shore finishes with the ball.
After the first event, hoop, Evita is actually in the lead currently, so she beat Laura in the hoop. So now we'll see what she has to do with ball. Evita is so graceful, she shows so many fluid movements. It's so graceful. The whole routine seems like it's just never ending, which is as it should. And she has great extension, high releve. Definitely has improved a lot in the years. Which trains in the same gym as Laura Zhang, Camilla Feely, and Lily Mizuno. So having that constant competition in the gym, I'm sure, makes them work even harder and pushes them even more. Kind of always have an internal competition in the gym. Here's a very difficult equipment handling during her balance, which she will actually get credit for as a mastery for that.
Full extension and stability married together in her balance poses.
Another very clean routine. She'll definitely get a very high score for that routine.
Griskinas really getting after it. The 2017 National Championship on the line. We'll see how the rest of her weekend unfolds as we move over to the second routine on trampoline of Jeffrey Gluckstein, competing for ETA.
Jeffrey's going to show us a 4 triple beginning to his optional routine here. His first skill is called a full front half. He does a full twist in the first flip, a front flip in the second flip, and then a half twist in the third flip, all in the pike position. And he's going to show us it with great execution and height as he is getting up there.
No doubt.
That's definitely more nerve-wracking watching than being on the trampoline.
Giving our camera guys a workout how to keep him in frame.
And here he goes. First skill, full front half, followed by a half and half out pike. And there's our second triple, a Triffus pike. Our third triple, a half and half out Triffus tuck. And our fourth triple, a Triffus tuck. Lost a little bit of height, but now he's looking more stable. He's looking clean. A Rudy out pike and a Miller with straight arms. Great execution to finish the routine. He should be very happy with that. That should score well in the difficulty, execution, time of flight, and horizontal displacement.
Gluckstein puts an exclamation point on all of the above. This closes out this rotation at the 2017 USA Gymnastics Championships. We'll be back for the final rotation of the first night of competition.
Here we go, Milwaukee. Time to hit the quan. It's the 5th rotation. Make some noise and get out of your seats.
Gymnasts competing in the fifth row.